What up, though? I'm gonna just jump right in. I'm not even messing with no production stuff and sound effects. I'm gonna give my content as much love and care as Premier Boxing Champions gives to its pay-per-view cards and servicing its fans, as well as what it does for its clients and the fighters that are on that roster. Um, but you should be well aware at this point that March 30th, I believe, is the date. But we were all waiting to see what Premier Boxing Champions was going to do with this new relationship with Amazon Prime. And with the announcement of the card, I got to say, this is the reason why this is this what is different from this card. What's different from the last cards that led to Showtime shutting down its sports department or division and getting out of boxing? What's different from this card? In the main event, we have WBO junior middleweight champion Tim Tszyu fighting Keith Thurman, former unified welterweight champion, making his debut at this new weight division, in this new division. And the WBO did not sanction the fight, so it's not a world title fight. It's going to be at some 155-pound catch weight. What's the payoff for Keith Thurman in taking this fight? You're going up against horrible odds, a younger fighter, a more hungry fighter, a more active fighter. Thurman has had like 2 fights in 4 years or something, you rounded up 4 years, 2 fights, older guy. We see this time and time again. We saw it with Errol Spence Jr. We saw it with Deontay Wilder. I was trying to think of a third, but why even ask people to do this stuff? Do you even care about your fighters? How is this even a winnable fight for Keith Thurman? Like he wasn't part of the PBC's run over the past 6 or 7 years. And now to just bring you in here and put you up against a young champion, and you don't even have it's not even a carrot dangling in front of you that I can become a 2-division. I could possibly become a 2-division champion. Obviously, Tim Tszyu is the favorite. I don't even know what we're doing here. Then in the co-main event is Rolando Romero, 140-pound WBO champion. I think. I might be wrong. Who cares, to be honest? Who cares? Against Isaac Cruz, who's not even a 140-pound fighter. No, I don't, and I haven't even. That's the thing for me. What has Isaac Cruz really done since the Tank Davis fight, which I have not seen because I didn't buy that pay-per-view? But what is he got some people felt like he should have won the fight, or he pushed Gervonta, who hurt his hand in that fight, I believe. But what has he gone on and done since that I should care enough about him to put down? I don't, is it going to be $55, $45? Is it going to be the whole 74, 90? What is it? I don't know. But why would I pay anything to see Isaac Cruz? Rolando Romero, not all that active himself the last couple of. What major highlight have you seen from, besides getting knocked out by Gervonta Davis, What major highlight have you seen from Rolando Romero to make him box office that you should have to pay to see him fight? Son, you can IM it, email it, tag me in something. What has he done? Maybe it's a competitive fight. I'm not paying anything to find out. It's a hard pass for me on the card. I believe it's 4 fights on there. I was getting ready to be pissed off and looking into the details of Fundora, Sebastian Fundora. I believe knocked out in his last fight by Mendoza. Maybe he's had another fight since. I don't know. Whatever. This is now a championship fight because Jermell Charlo is champion in recess. Is this WBC? Sometimes. So now him and Sergey Buachuk. I was really getting ready to go off. I was not aware that Buachuk has been rebuilding himself since getting demolished by Brandon the Cannon Adams. I believe that was on the Ring City USA card before that went belly up with NBC Sports. I was really getting ready to be upset. He's on like a 4 knockout win streak and has rebuilt himself. So okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That might actually be a pretty decent fight. Him and Sebastian Fundora. It may be. I can't remember the other fight that's on this card. The fourth one is I'm drawing a blank. Damn, I'm drawing a total blank. Let me check it out real quick. Maybe it'll. But this is the card that you take over to Amazon. And I asked this question when I talked to Kevin Iole a couple of weeks ago. I asked him about trying to find one of the articles to look into that card. Did the lady, I think her last name is Donahue, or I think it's Donahue. I'll leave it at that. Did she know enough to fight back with PBC and say, no, we're not taking that fight, or it's not going to be a pay-per-view? No. And the first fight is trash. Trying to get to one of the articles on that fight, on that card. Yeah, March 30th on Amazon Prime show. Let me see what else was on here. But yeah, and this is why I said, like, to me, Amazon Prime, if you were really interested in getting into boxing, getting in bed with boxing, you should have just made it known. This is my opinion. You should have just made it known. Look, we'll pay good money for good fights. You bring us the fights and we'll decide which ones we want to buy and we'll put on some fights. But to sit here and work with one promoter to bring you fights, to provide fights on your platform, what does this do? What does this do for Amazon Prime? We're telling you now on January 27th, we're not tuning in. We're not putting our money up. Telling you that now. Does it break 100,000? Does it break 50,000? I could care less, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter. And I saw some fans out there. This should be a good card, and it should be, if it floats your boat, good for you. I don't stop and pay attention to this. This isn't even news. I was trying to think of some slick analogy. This would be like Adidas going in and re-releasing their Kobe sneakers. Whatever Kobe's line was called. This would be like them doing retros for them, trying to cash in on the whole retro sneaker popularity. Nobody would care. That Mamba mentality hashtag thing, or the legacy of that. Nobody would care enough about that to go buy any Kobe's that they bring back out. And they did. Adidas did do that at one point in time. Yeah, it's WBC, full WBC 154-pound title for Chuck and Fundora. I was trying to. I'm not even gonna stay on here. I'm not gonna hold up anybody's day or anything. Not a whole lot more to say. Um, I was just. That's what I was gonna bring up. Charles Conwell. Like I would have much rather seen Charles Conwell get this opportunity. And I'm hearing this article that's on Boxing Scene from a couple weeks ago. Ukraine's Boachuk, 23-1, 23 knockouts, is the WBC second ranked contender in the 154-pound division. One spot atop the third rated Fundora, who's 21-1 with 13 KOs of Coachella, California. Cleveland's Charles Conwell, 18-0, 13 KOs, is the WBC's number one contender in the super welterweight division, but he hasn't been declared the mandatory challenger for one of the two titles that Charlo still holds. I didn't even know if it was worth bringing up Conwell's name. Now, shout out to him, and shout out to my dude Marty, who's texting me some links to a couple of other platforms, trying to get busy with boxing and whatnot. But Conwell is now with some new promoter. I get it confused. There's a red owl out there, I believe, in a wise owl or something. But he's with a smaller, a smaller, less powerful, less influential promoter, and he couldn't get it. He couldn't get himself in here. So they went with Fundora. I would take a second to see if Fundora, if he was just knocked out in his last fight. Maybe it's in here somewhere. But anyway, I got to get ready to get out of here. Again, I'm just trying to find. Yeah, Fundora 26 will end almost a 1-year layoff when he battles Boachuk. Again, another dude hasn't fought anybody in over a year, and now you come back into a very competitive fight. It just makes no sense. The 6'6" Southpaw hasn't fought since Albuquerque's Mendoza viciously knocked him out in the 7th round of their fight for Fundora's WBC interim super welterweight title last April at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Boachuk, 28, has won 5 fights in a row since Southern California's Brandon Adams stopped him in the 8th round. It was 2021, March 2021. I forgot that was down in Puerto Rico, that series of cards they did down there. So I'm sorry, I can't find out what the fourth. I thought it was a fourth fight that was on there. The card is not on BoxRec at this point in time, so I can't check it out there. Where we at? What time we at? 14 minutes. I'm 9 minutes over what I should have stayed. I was, like I said, I tried to tell Ioli. I'm very I only got a little more optimistic on boxing after talking to him and hearing here's a dude launching a new boxing website in this climate for the sport, this moment for the sport. He's launching a new site. Of course he's gonna be optimistic. And I'm no knock against Ioli. That's his livelihood. But he's launching a new website for boxing and combat sports. So he would be more optimistic on the future of the sport. But here we go. A pay-per-view in 2024 with Keith Thurman in the main event. Speaks for itself. Speaks for itself. I'm out of here, man.